AITA for telling my family how much my fiancé earns after years of them making fun of his job. My family is very well educated and full of professionals, including several doctors, surgeons, dentists, etc. I have a good career and make a good living. When I met my fiancé, he was at my house to supervise a roofing crew the insurance company hired to replace my damaged roof. I instantly fell for him when he pulled up in his truck and couldn't keep my eyes off of him for the rest of the day as he gave orders to his men. When we started dating, he was vague about his job and I just chalked it up to him being insecure about me having a better career. I didn't care about our income imbalance. When we got serious, we talked about our future plans, and that was when he told me the full extent of his little construction company. I was shocked that his construction earnings is as much as my dad's surgeon salary. Gradually he took me around to the handful of construction lots and shopping centers he owns. His rental income combined with his construction earnings is double that of my dad's. He said that few people know about his finances and he expects me to keep what I know to myself. My parents disapproved of him since the first time I brought him home. My dad coined the term "tool boy," and the rest of my family joined in whenever they talk behind my fiancé's back. They don't call him that to his face but instead make snide remarks. Once my mom said during dinner that they're thinking about hiring someone to mow their lawn, then turned to my fiancé and asked him what he charges. I always try to defend him and it's a constant battle. It's gotten worse since we're planning our wedding, and the other day my nerves just broke. Yesterday parents were trying to get me into getting a prenuptial, then my dad said, "You have to protect your assets just in case Toolboy decides to go slumming." I lost it and yelled at my parents. During our shouting, I blurted out his earnings and that he makes more than both of them combined. Then I stormed out. I told my fiancé what happened, but instead of supporting me, he got mad that I told his parents that. I argued that I was defending him, then we got into an argument. My parents and family are mad at me for keeping secrets. My fiancé is mad at me for not keeping secrets. I'm stuck in the middle and don't know what to do. YTA. You love your fiancé. And of course it hurts when your parents make fun of him. But be honest, you didn't do this to defend him. You did it to defend yourself and your choice to marry him. You knew that he doesn't want people to know about his finances, so clearly betraying that trust wasn't a favor to him. Even if he made a lot less, he would still be a worthy human that you love. All you have done is reinforce the notion that it's okay for your parents to look down on poor folks by letting them know that your fiancé isn't one of the poor folks. They honestly sound awful, and I can't believe your fiancé has put up with this treatment for this long. And I can't believe you've allowed it to continue. YTA. Your fiancé told you how much he makes in confidence. You broke his trust because you were angry with your relatives. That makes you the clear asshole. And then you doubled down and tried to claim that breaking his trust was okay because you were defending him. Here's the thing. Your family are snobbish assholes. And will likely always be snobbish assholes. Their opinion doesn't matter. You are marrying your fiancé. There is no middle. You're an adult and aren't obligated to make mommy and daddy happy, or to pay any attention to their nonsense. Soft YTA. It's a constant frustration with your parents. You could have been vague and said something like a prenup would protect him more than you. But in the end, you should have made your family stop acting like bullying snobs. Your fiancé specifically told you not to tell anyone his income. He was probably secretly enjoying your parents being snobs, not knowing the truth. YTA. He's a grown man who can defend himself. If he wanted to defend himself to your family, he would have done so already. Or made it well known how much he makes when he met your family. He did not. He told you to keep what he owns and makes to himself. And you didn't. He has every right to be upset about that. You weren't defending him to your parents. You were defending yourself to your parents. If your parents act like this often, why do you see them? Info. Does your fiancé care that your family thinks so low of him solely based off the assumption he doesn't do well financially? Or does he not care because he knows they're wrong? YTA for disclosing private info without his approval. That said, your parents are the worst. If he has done nothing wrong to them, then your parents just suck and are uppity, judgmental turds. I would not invite them to the wedding. You should tell them that the disrespect is unacceptable. However, even if they change with him, people that act like that are usually that way all the way to their core. I understand what and why it happened. Yet YTA, you need to be more intelligent. You know the truth. You love him. There's a reason why he doesn't tell. To avoid fake friends. And I think your family is that kind of person he wants to avoid. As you describe your family, your parents will start bragging that you are engaged with a successful entrepreneur, no longer a tool boy. And suddenly all the fake he was avoiding will reach him. You owe him a big apology, and you need to keep a healthy distance from your parents. Because if the only reason they don't like your fiancé was money, well, that says a lot about them. Yeah. YTA for breaking your fiancé's trust. He asked you not to reveal that. And you still did. Defending him from your snob family is well and good. But you could have done that without giving away his secret. YTA he asked you for one thing and you didn't follow through. Your family doesn't get to be mad about you keeping secrets, as your husband-to-be's income is none of their business at all. He probably wanted it secret because he knows when people find out, they will expect him to foot all of the bills. I would bet money this is how your family starts treating him. You will see that their treatment of him is not dependent on financials because they are snobs. You need to make sure they start treating your husband with kindness and respect, both in front of him and you. Why haven't you yet? Furthermore, you never should have let things get this far. As soon as they called him a ditch digger the first time, you should have told them they will speak of him with respect and kindness, or they won't get to speak to you at all. You waited until things were already at a boiling point to defend your fiancé. Apologize to your fiancé. Tell your family if they utter one more negative thing about your fiancé, or mention his finances ever, they will not get to talk to you or ever see any future grandchildren. Forget being invited to the wedding, as they can't keep a civil tongue in the heads. Follow this up with going NC with them for a few weeks. This is salvageable, but you need to realize that when you marry this man, you've created a family. And that family and its secrets are your first priority, not your parents and relatives. You've not shown your fiancé to be your priority over your family once in the above writings. You need to make this up to your fiancé because he's the only one not being an here. Your wild family is full of YTA, elitist and vile. You're the asshole, although I understand why. Your family, however, is awful. YTA, you knew he wanted his finances kept private. But you're also an asshole because they should be giving him respect as a person, not because his worth is tied to his income or education. You really aren't trying very hard to defend him. It's very simple. You tell your family, he is a good person. He is my family. He treats me and y'all with kindness and respect. And if you cannot do the same, then I will not be spending time around you. Then you leave if they push back. When they call him a demeaning name, you tell them you will not stand by and see the person you love disrespected. And you leave. When they make jokes at his expense, you tell them that you are disappointed that they are so materialistic and mean-spirited. And you leave. Do you plan on raising kids around people with that attitude? People who will teach your children that they are worthy of ridicule if their interests or skills lie outside of your family's narrow-minded opinion of what is prestigious? I would not be surprised if he decides not to marry you, because it seems pretty obvious to me that your priorities do not align with his. Let me put it like this. If they were racist instead of classist, would you be telling them not to use racial slurs at all, or that your fiancé is actually just really tan and the racial slurs don't apply to him? Your parents are big snobs. And I can understand the frustration you felt because of how they spoke about your fiancé. That must have rankled a lot. However, you still should have respected your finances' wishes about not divulging how much he earns. On the other hand, the two of you should have discussed how the two of you are gonna handle how your parents treat. Speak about him long before you plan to get married. As you said, you were put in the middle. Well, everyone but your fiancé. You shouldn't have betrayed his trust and told his secret. Fuck whatever your family says, they're not entitled to anything, especially after they've been so blatantly disrespectful. Accept your fiancé. Don't stoop to your family's level. What you did was try to justify your fiancé's worth by using the same metric your self-entitled family does, which makes you just as bad. And you betrayed his trust. He's obviously a humble man, so he's not impressed that you A. betrayed his confidence and B. used money to justify his worth. It's none of their business. They should accept him regardless of his salary. If they change just because of his salary, it still makes them Oz. Accept husband. Your family are a bunch of classists, and I think that due to some things you said at first, you also had that way of thinking. Only that you weren't as openly about it. Even less when you started going out together. I don't think that he needed your help at that moment, but he needed your support a long time ago. Since your family had been obviously demeaning him for a long time now. I would only allow one joke towards my fiancé, and that would be the last one. Or my family would never see me again. You should have confronted them before. But about being classists and only after money. Not attempting to show how your husband is not poor. I just read classism everywhere. From my point of view, you should have put a stop to your awful family a long time ago. You know that they call your tool boy, and you haven't told them to shut that. And then, when you defend him, you do so by saying he makes lots of money. That's sad. Really. You should have made your parents see that you are happy together. That money not always buys happiness, and you make the relationship work. Which is what matters here. Poor future husband to be tied to such stuck-up people. And sadly you can't put this toothpaste back in the tube. I don't think you should be feeling caught in the middle. You don't owe this type of information to your parents. The person you should concentrate on making amends to is your fiancé. He specifically asked you to keep it to yourself. You didn't. The reason why is irrelevant.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.